Well, we're going to try this because, like I said, Mike always does this. So let's see what this. Well, hello again. It's Wednesday night. Welcome to Are You Shitting Me? TMI, the podcast. As always, I'm Ron here in Las Vegas, Nevada. Unfortunately, my brother told me he's not going to make it tonight, feeling a tad bit under the weather. So I'm going to see if I can just wing this by myself. I left the banner up from last week where Mike said, let's make it up as we go along, because normally I have Mike to banter back and forth with, but tonight, I'm going to see if I can just banter back and forth with all the stuff that goes on in my head. So, again, welcome. Thanks for joining in. If you are on, I don't see anybody here yet, but as you come along, please send me some information. Give me something to talk about. Give me a topic, anything. I'm down for anything. But to start off with, I had a conversation with a client today, and the premise of our show originally was growing up in the 60s, 70s, and 80s and how baby boomers and Gen Xers, the difference between life then and life now. And the topic of AI came up, and it really made me stop and think, man, could you imagine this shit back when we were kids? It's just the craziest thing. You really can't be in business today without having some sort of AI-driven product. Even my business, I have a remodeling business, and I stopped personally doing estimates about 9 months ago. I literally have an app that I can either do one of the few things. I can take a picture of the area I want to have work done, and it'll come up with an estimate for me, or I can type in the things I want to have done with dimensions, even up to and including the type of product I want, builder grade, lower grade, high grade, so on and so forth. Or I can literally just dictate into this app what I want. And man, it lays out an estimate that's way better than I could ever do on my own. We're talking down to, screws, nails, 2x4s, rough materials, cosmetic stuff. And the great thing is you can separate all of it. So that being said, nowadays, people, when they write emails or even text messages or responses in business, most of them are using some sort of AI-driven software. So most of these guys really probably couldn't write an email or a text message to save their life, but they use this software and it makes them seem a little smarter, I guess, for lack of a better term. And that made me start thinking of, when I was a younger man and growing up and learning about business and learning about sales. And it was always the, meet the client, press the palms, talk to the person, build a relationship. And, for years, that's kind of how I have done my businesses, man. It's like I always, even now, I always make it a point to go out and introduce myself to new clients. It's just, it's something that's been instilled in me since I was a young man. And it's something that I feel is, in today's day and age, man, even more important than what it was back when I was in my 20s and 30s, because nobody does that shit anymore. Nobody goes out and introduces himself. It's all ambiguous information. It's all, behind the scenes text messages and emails and, barely even phone calls anymore. And I have to admit, I'm guilty of some of that, not a lot of it. Like I said, I do meet my clients. My clients know who I am personally, and I, 100% stand by everything that we do. But back in the day, you were on the job site all the time. You talked with them. You knew their family, and it's just one of those things I wish we could get back to that. I hate to use the term, but that I hate to, but just the hospitality part of being in business. And that could be anything from, just going to the grocery store, or I know I harp on the big box stores a lot when I'm on here, but it's frustrating. You walk into a big box store and you need help with something, and all you get is, oh yeah, it's over there on aisle 32. Not a, hey man, let me walk you down there. What are you working on? What can I help you with? Hey, here's an idea that might work better for you. Nothing. It's almost like you're damn near bothering them, and not to beat up the big box stores. It happens right down the street. I go to this, I don't know if it's a Jamba Juice or whatever type of a smoothie, tropical smoothie. That's what it is. Worst customer service in the freaking world. We walked in there a couple weeks ago. Some young man behind the counter. He was busy. Looked like he was by himself. We were there for a good 3 to 4 minutes. Now, if you've ever been waiting in line for something, or you walk into an establishment and nobody acknowledges you, 2 to 3 minutes seems like a freaking lifetime. So I finally got to the point where I looked up. I'm like, hey, man, are you working by yourself? And he's like, no, she's in the back. Not a, hey, welcome in. Hey, I'll be right with you. I appreciate your patience. Nothing. So I can't really blame him, because somebody has to teach this kid how to be a productive human being, how to read the room, for lack of a better term, man. It's like, you got people standing in your lobby, they're there for service, you're the only one up there. God love you, you're busy, but shit, take 2 seconds and introduce yourself. Hey man, I'm Ron, a little busy right now, I'll be right with you. And speaking of Ron's, my son, Ron Jr., such a great young man, because he is that guy. And he's that guy because he was taught to be that way. I'm that guy because I was taught to be that way. And parents in today's day and age, man, they really need to step up their game, man. They really need to teach these kids, how to have customer service skills, period. So, yeah, and I agree, Matt. Personal touch and customer service, it does go a long way. And I'm not going to toot my own horn here right now, but I will say the reason a lot of my clients work with me is because I do give that personal touch, that customer service. I ask them questions. I listen to what they have to say, and I take part in the experience that they're having. So, Cliff, how you doing, brother? Not sure who you are. You must be a friend of Mike's, but welcome. Customer service is not something that is even taught anymore. Agreed, and I think it has to do with the fact that we all stirred up our phones instead of talking to them. Yeah, absolutely. They don't know how to talk. And man, Cliff, I couldn't agree more. Matter of fact, that was my exact point of view today. Was I was having a conversation with somebody about a long-term relationship, and I said it's almost impossible to have a long-term relationship anymore, mostly because of cell phones and social media and things, because everything in our life right now is instantaneous. So, back in the day, if you had a long-term relationship, you might not hear from this person for a day or 2 or 3. Now it's every second of every day. There is no absence makes the heart grow fonder, for lack of a better term. It's instantaneous. So, but no, Cliff, I agree. Customer service is not taught. I was in a Home Depot, just maybe a week or 2 ago, and I had to tell this guy where the material was I was looking for, because he said they didn't carry it anymore. And it's just like, I know you freaking carry it. So I took my time, got on my phone, got on the Home Depot app, looked up what it was, pulled up the store number I was at, and I said, here it is right here. Same thing that they could have done. They all have little tablets or phones or whatever that gives them the information of the products they carry. Or even more, right up that same alley, if you don't have it, look up another freaking store, see if they have it. Hey, Mr. Martinez, I don't have it here, but look here, man. The store over on yada, yada, yada has it. let me make a call over there and have them pull it aside for but anyway, yeah, I think Mike and I have beaten the customer service thing to death, and I don't think it's going to change as much as I wish it would, but it's not going to. I'm sure he went, oh ha ha ha, and no, yeah. They it's great when you can even get a response out of them, because most of the time it seems like you're bothering them. It's like, oh, I'm sorry, my fault for bothering you while you're at work. Mike always jokes that, and it's true, I'm the same way. I know those stores better than most of the people that work there, because me being in construction, I'm in a big box store at least 2, 4, 5, sometimes 6 times a day looking for product. Now, thank God, because I'm old, most of the stores are built the same. So when I walk in to look for something, 9 times out of 10, they're going to be in the same vicinity of where the other stores are at. But I kind of want to hop back to the whole AI thing, man. What's your guys' take on AI? I have such a love-hate for it, depending upon the arena it's being used in. But like this visual AI stuff, dude, it's a trip to me. I mean, I look at some of the stuff that even my grandkids are learning now. And like I said, even in business, how you can, in marketing and advertising, you can take a picture or a voice and make it into whatever the hell you want. And you don't know if it's real or not. When you see an ad for something and you see a person on there, man, it's a crapshoot. It's a 50-50 whether that's a real person or not. My son, Ron Jr., had sent me this, I don't know if it was a TikTok or some sort of a video or meme, but they were talking about putting actual chips in your head. And the premise of it is to help with neurological things, such as, neurological damage, or if you have to have surgery or things like that. And we got to have an in-depth conversation about it. And the bad part about that is you're going to get the parents that are going to be like, oh my God, no, never, not me. I'll never, my kid will never have a chip and blah, 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 blah. But the problem is, if that is the wave of the future, then your kid's going to be left behind. And I almost cringe that even comes out of my mouth, because I am that father and grandfather that's like, nope, sign of the devil, not going to happen. But what are you going to do? It's like 10 years ago, 15 years ago, when cell phones really became predominant, and you're like, oh, my kid will never have a cell phone. Now every 5-year-old walking around town has a cell phone, because it's the sign of the times. So how do you guys embrace that stuff? How do you guys embrace the changes that happen in our lives that, as when we were kids, it just didn't exist? Our biggest issue was, when's the next water balloon fight? And, I took a dirt clod to the eye yesterday, but nowadays it's technological, it's artificial intelligence, it's cyber trucks, man, the list goes on. And sometimes I don't know how to take all of it in, because even like on my cell phone, I know it does so much. I mean, hell, our cell phones today do more than the most badass computer we ever had when we were kids. I remember back, Matt, I think it was you guys originally had the Commodore 64 computer, and I thought that was like just the greatest thing in the world. I remember when Atari came out, that was just the greatest thing in the world. I watch some of these flipping videos these kids play nowadays, and I'm like, this is like watching a full-blown directed movie. I mean, because let's face it, that's damn near what it is, Cliff, what do you got to say? Cliff says, I do think the chips are inevitable, but I think it's going to be a whole lot more than just mental therapy. I think it will be interlocked with your brain, so it actually helps you think. Agreed. That was one of the things that they talked about. You look at today's society, and deductive reasoning is something that they don't teach anymore, because you can get the phone and get the information. No, absolutely. And that's one of my biggest things, Cliff, is cell phones, social media, Alexa, all them have just made us lazy. I mean, in my opinion. Alexa, stop. Sorry, every time you say that, issue goes off. But yeah, it just makes us lazy. I mean, there really is. And Cliff, you hit it right on the head. There is no deductive reasoning. If you have to, in today's day and age, a young person, a teenager, whatever, if you have to figure something out, you ask an AI. You don't go and look for it. You don't have to reason or try to figure out why. You know, I play this trivia game, and I play it mostly because I like to keep my mind there. You know, luckily for what I do, I deal a lot in math. You know, I have to know dimensions, I have to know angles, I have to know depth, I have to know things like that. And a lot of times I have to be able to do it in my head. Although I do have my AI stuff that I use, but I try to do it in my head because I don't want to lose that. I don't want to lose the ability to have reasoning, or as you said, deductive thinking. You know, because it really is. It's like, I want to put it simplified. How many kids nowadays know how to write in cursive? Probably none of them. You know, my daughter, the one that we adopted, she goes to a private school. So they do teach cursive writing. They do teach other things there. And my other granddaughter goes to a public school, has no idea what cursive writing even is. You know, one of the things that Mike and I talked about was they need to get home ec back in schools. They need to get shop. They need to get mechanics. They need anything that's a trade, because kids nowadays are just lazy. Nobody wants to do trade works. Now, here's the thing: you can go to school to be a doctor or an engineer, or whatever. You're going to spend 3, 4, 5, 6 years in college to get this degree, a whole lot of money. Or you can go be a welder or a plumber and start making bank right out the bat while these guys are still trying to figure out what they're doing with their life, and have a great retirement, have a great career. Trades are just a lost art. I tell a lot of the people that work for me, especially the young folks, I'm like, man, learn something. Learn a trade, learn how to lay tile, learn how to weld, learn how to work on a car. I mean, it's going to be a lost art, because here's the thing: AI, computers, automation can replace a lot of things, but they can't replace a toilet. They can't replace your roof. They can't paint the inside of your house. Well, I guess they could, but you know where I'm getting with this, right? We're going to still need to have people that have the ability to do these things and get the fuck out of your parents' basement at 35 years old and get a damn job. So, yeah, Matt, I usually, depending on who's in the audience, especially it's going to the front office, I run it through, also gives me an outline of professional products. And I agree with that. 100%. That's what I'm saying. It has its uses, but I guarantee you, Matt, you're a smart enough man, and you had it instilled in you as a young man that you could probably do it yourself if you really sat down and thought about it. That's my problem. Is most young folks can't. Is it a benefit? Yeah, it's just like anything that's new. It's a double-edged sword. It has its goods and its bad. So which outweighs which? I mean, again, I use it for work. I'm the same way, Matt. There's sometimes I'll have to write emails to some of my larger clients, and I don't want to sound uneducated, although I do have a college degree. So I'll do the same thing. I'll write it out and I'll run it through, and it'll give me corrections or give me suggestions on what I should or shouldn't say or should change, and so on and so forth. So yeah, I do agree, Matt, that depending upon the audience is a great way to put it. So tonight it was just, I didn't know what I wanted to talk about. It was just kind of on my heart about how things are changing so fast in life. And Matt, I know you and I are the same age, and Cliff, I'd have to imagine you're probably in that same genre between baby boomer and Gen Xer. And man, do I miss those times. I miss the simplicity of how life was. But I say that in jest because I'm sure that the folks that are the age now that we were then are probably 30 years down the road going to say the same damn thing that I'm saying right now. But to me, it was just, it was just a funner time, less of a headache. And maybe it's because I'm an adult now and I have to do adult things and pay bills and dumb shit like that. We didn't back then, but wish we could go back. But anyway, we're about 20 minutes into it. Didn't mean to get off on a rant about this. It's just something I wanted to talk about. And it sucks not having Mike here because he and I always bounce shit off of each other and then makes it kind of fun. But I do appreciate you guys being on here, Matt and Cliff. I see we have a few more people watching right now. It's going to be a short night tonight. The granddaughter has volleyball practice, so they just left. So they're doing good. I do again want to say, Matt, congrats to your daughter on her upcoming nuptials. And Sherry, we love you. Enough said about that. So anyway, I love you guys. If you're joining us later on, please feel free to leave some comments. If you're on now, please feel free to leave some comments. I'm going to sit here and ramble for about another maybe 10 minutes or so. Not sure about what. So, Matt, if you have anything you want to talk about, Cliff, if you have something you want to get off your chest or just start a quick conversation, by all means, please throw it at me. We are experiencing some great monsoon seasons here in Las Vegas, Nevada. Man, it was raining so hard today. It washed out a couple of roads up here. We actually had a tornado hit here in Las Vegas yesterday, knocked out about 15 or 20 power poles on the other side of town. So there were about 28,000 people without power yesterday. And it was the weirdest thing to see a tornado, and not like it was anything huge, but tornado nonetheless. And with the rain and stuff going on here, the weather, the rain, today wasn't bad. I got up this morning about 4:30, 5 o'clock, did my workout, had to go play musical trailers outside because I had to get my big box trailer out from behind my trash trailer. I walked outside and it was freaking raining cats and dogs, man. I'm like, who the hell turned on the water in Las Vegas? By the time I got everything moved around, I came inside, grabbed a jacket, came back outside. The sun was out. So kind of like Colorado weather, isn't it, Matt? They always say about Colorado, if it's snowing, they're like, just wait about 10 minutes. It'll stop. It'll be sunny again. So anyway, that's enough of me. Oh, here we got Cliff. Well, that's maybe several potential. See, that's funny. Yeah, it was 108 on Monday. I was playing golf in Mesquite over the weekend. It was 109. And then Tuesday, it was like 92 degrees outside. The mornings are great because it's like in the mid 70s, but then by the time 11, 12 o'clock rolls around, it's as they say, it's like the devil's butthole out here. But if you're out in the Lubbock area, haven't been out there yet. Been out where Mike is in Amarillo. I like it. It's not bad. I've been in Vegas for 25 years, man. I'm a local nowadays. I like the heat. I like the dry. I like going up to Montana. But yeah, that's how Vegas is, man. It's just hot. So, all right, you guys, love you. I'm going to head out, grab something to eat, but I'll see you guys next week. Hopefully, Mike, I hope you're feeling better. I hope you are back to join us next week, Wednesday night, 8 Central, 7 Mountain, 6 Pacific on YouTube and on Facebook. On that note, we'll see you.